with a great energy. All right. Well, good morning, World Trade enthusiasts and participants. So everyone says good morning too. Yeah, there we go. If anybody needs coffee, there's some in the back. So we brought that for a reason. My name is Drew Rodriguez. I'm the Public and Community Relations Senior Representative for the Port of Hueneme. I'll be facilitating the flow of today's event, and I am thrilled to be here with you all today. A couple housekeeping items before we officially get underway. For those looking to use the restroom, they will be in the back, my right corner here. So please feel free to use these restrooms. We also have some amazing vendors and participants who are sharing information about their respective agencies. So please feel free to stop by their booths at any time during our lunch, our brief lunch, or after the event. There's some special goodies I hear out there. Last thing to note, of course, we will be having a jam-packed program today, and we want to be mindful of our speakers today. So if you could please make sure that your cell phones are on silent or vibrate, that would be greatly appreciated. All right, now to kick us off. So why are we here today? The observance of World Trade Week began in 1926 to acknowledge and celebrate that world trade significantly contributes to the nation's economy and has developed a vast new horizon for America's businesses. In 1935, President Franklin D. Roosevelt officially proclaimed World Trade Week as a national observance by the U.S. government. This year, the Port of Hueneme kicks off its 11th year hosting our World Trade Week kickoff event. Without further ado, to open with our welcoming remarks, I would like to call up Selena Zacarias, President of the Board of Harbor Commissioners for the Port of Hueneme.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Welcome to the 11th Annual World Trade Week celebration. My name is Selena Zacarias, and I have the pleasure and honor of serving as your president for the Port of Hueneme Board of Harbor Commissioners. And this morning, I have a few of my fellow harbor commissioners with us here today. We have Vice President, Mr. Jesse Ramirez. Harbor Commissioner Mary Ann Rooney. And Harbor Commissioner, Mr. Jess Herrera. It is my distinct honor to be here with you all today to celebrate World Trade Week and its connection to us all here in Ventura County. And I'm hoping that later on today, Kristen will share with you a little about our trade mission we just came back from, and you will see and you will realize how connected we are to the rest of the world. It was just such an impressive trip. I would like to first recognize and acknowledge this year's World Trade Week Event Planning Committee who helped make this event possible. From the U.S. Commercial Service, we have Mary Ann Burke, Director of U.S. Export Assistance Center. Is she here yet? Okay. Oh, right there. And from the Economic Development Collaborative, the Director of Small Business Development Center, Dr. Ray Bowman. From our Port of Hueneme, we have Letitia Austin, our Public and Government Relations Manager. Is she? Okay. And then Drew Rodriguez, Public and Community Relations Senior Representative, which you just met a few minutes ago. Thank you very much to all the staff and the organizers for putting this amazing event together. This year's topic explores the supply chain and technology, specifically artificial intelligence, which is just all over the place for us today. We are gathered here in the Port of Hueneme, the birthplace of FathomWorks Technology Lab. And if you haven't seen and experienced FathomWorks, we will be able to do that today to continue to explore the world trade and supply chain landscape and its interconnection to technology and potential for our Ventura County region. I am a firm believer, especially after this trade mission we went on, that Ventura County is a regional powerhouse for the state of California. The talents we have in our community, the businesses and the greater community are astounding. We are the right mix to go out and conquer the world. Together we can leverage our business and technology resources to make meaningful change in not only world trade, but in our very own communities. Before I open the floor to the next speaker, there are a few elected officials in the audience who I'd like to acknowledge. And this is I hope if I don't acknowledge you, it's because you haven't walked in just yet. But our county supervisor, Janice Parvin, thank you very much for being here. Martha McQueen-Lejeune, Mayor Pro Tem from the City of Port Hueneme. One individual I'm very proud of because he's also alum of Cal State Channel Islands, representing the Assembly Member Steve Bennett, Mr. Atticus Ford Reyes. Representing Supervisor Vianney Lopez's office, Tracy Gallagher. Representing one of our greatest partners, VCTC, Darren Peshek. With us also we have Ambassador Ricardo Santana, Consulado de Mexico in Oxnard. We also have Mantas Samsikas, Commercial Attaché of Lithuania to the U.S. Sean Kagan, Senior Trade Policy Advisor, British Consul. Betty Young, Business Development Officer from Hong Kong Trade Development Council. Thank you all for being here today. I hope you enjoy your day here with us at the Port of Hueneme, your Port of Hueneme. And at this time, I'd like to call our amazing CEO, Kristen Dekas, as the next speaker. Thank you so much and welcome.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Happy World Trade Day. Woo, all right. Okay, I'm just going to kick things off with just a quick update on the port, and then we'll dig into the panel sessions. Really have an exciting lineup here, kind of digging into technology, AI, and the supply chain. So excited to hear from our speakers. Oh. See, I might need a lesson. Well, the first slide's a very important one, so it's about our commissioners. Oh, here we go. Here comes the technology man, AI. Does it need a battery? Okay, let's try it now. All right, here we go. Thank you. It's take two. All right, second cut. So how many folks have been here before? Just kind of a show of hands, familiar with how the Port of Hueneme is run. Okay, a few of you. Few of you have not. We're run a little differently than the other ports of California because we were built with private money, not with public money. So we're not owned by the State Lands Commission like the other ports in California, where they entrust the ports to the municipalities to run them, and then mayors appoint harbor commissioners. In our case, we were actually set up by design by the legislature in 1937 as a special district of the state of California. We're our own autonomous local government, and we're governed by 5 elected harbor commissioners. And if you look at the map here, that's our geopolitical boundary, and our commissioners need to live within that area to be elected at large. And what's important to note about this model is that our board and our leadership are really here to maximize the capacity of the port to build economic and social good for our community. They really serve our constituents by having access to global trade and partnering with many of you that are here in the room today to build international partnerships that foster great economic development. So a couple facts about Hueneme. We are in the backyard of LA and Long Beach, and sometimes we get shadowed by being behind the big ports, if you will. But we actually have quite a large footprint in terms of national trade. We move $16.8 billion in cargo. We're the 6th largest auto port in the country. We're the 16th largest container port. And if I may, I like to brag about the statistic. We have the 5th largest market share for refrigerated cargo in the country, and Long Beach is number 8. So that's just, I like to throw that out there. Yeah, that's a good stat. When you look at us through the lens of the nation, we actually rank in the top 10% of the nation's seaports. Fun fact, we move 5 billion bananas through this seaport, and people often get a chuckle out of that, but it's actually the most popular commodity on the planet, and we serve 15 states bananas, so a very important trade commodity for us. We also are seeing at the front end of the supply chain a lot of throughput of electric vehicles. 23% of the cars coming through the port now are EV, really stepping up to the governor's mandate of all new EV purchases by 2035. So we're really seeing this. If you drive around the docks today and you have the opportunity to do the tour, look for a tailpipe. You might not find one. Top trading partners by value is South Korea, Germany, and United Kingdom, so that is our automotive cargo. And then if you look by value, it's Guatemala, Costa Rica, Mexico, Ecuador. And interestingly, if you think about that, think about how much fruit comes through this port that it weighs more than our cars. It just gives an impression of how much refrigerated cargo and how important we are to the supply chain in that segment of business. So to the commissioner's point, you heard from our president, we just came back from a trade mission. Commissioner Rooney joined us as well, along with Commissioner Hodge, and our state treasurer joined us. So we had quite an amazing experience in both South Korea and Japan, and we signed 2 MOUs, one with Pyeongtaek Port Terminal with WW customer, and then also with Yokohama, Japan. And these MOUs really honed in not only on economic development, customer relations, building business, but importantly about building green corridors and sustainability and moving towards a footprint of decarbonization. So very exciting work that we did abroad, and we also had the opportunity to converse with many of our customers to continue to foster their business and look at ways we could optimize our operations here at Hueneme. So a little bit of what's happening in trade. Our container count it's slipping a little bit, and you're seeing that in the big ports too. They're really a victim of what's happening in the consumer base, with people transitioning maybe from not buying so much on Amazon outside of COVID and looking more at travel and services and those sorts of things. And there has been some diversion of cargo to the East Coast. So we're trying to get that market share back. But that's not what's happening at Hueneme. Actually, we're a victim of weather. So there has been some drought on the coastline in Peru, and then also some heavy rains in Mexico that impacted blueberries and bananas. And so our commodities have been slipping a little bit there. 50% of the blueberry market was decimated by weather. And so that's a big trade lane for us. And we saw that, and you may have seen it in the grocery stores. If you tried to buy blueberries, they were pretty expensive. So the shipper made out okay, but the ocean carrier lost some business, and so did the port. Here's that statistic I shared that you can see, number 8, Long Beach. I just have to say it again. There it is in writing, study. On the auto side of the house, we're actually seeing a recalibration of the market. If you recall, during COVID, the market was decimated by the lack of semiconductor chips. Supply was very low, demand was very high, and so now you're finding that the original equipment manufacturers, the OEMs, are in full throttle now, building back inventories at the retail level, and we're seeing a large surge in auto business coming through the port right now. We're going to have a record year. We expect to move 400,000 cars, so that will be a first for us. So that market is very strong right now. Just because it's World Trade Week, we thought it might be of interest to you just to touch on some of the things that are happening around the world. You probably heard about the conflict and geopolitical issues and what's happening in the unrest in the Red Sea. Not impacting us. We don't use the Suez Canal, but you are seeing a lot of capacity come back into trade lanes to move cargo through different routes. And so the travel time for ocean carriers is much longer now, so they're putting more ships into the system, and that's affecting pricing, it's affecting trade, but not so much the port of Hueneme. Panama Canal, you probably heard about the drought, and vessels having difficulty accessing the channel. Hasn't impacted our customers, but it certainly has had an impact on the supply chain, and we're optimistic that these 2 political factors could help the larger San Pedro ports regain some of their market share. And then I already mentioned the weather and the impacts, and that's really what's affecting our trade lane. This is just an interesting statistic in what's happening in automotive cargo. Pre-COVID, sales were around 17 million, and the U.S. consumer hasn't gotten back up to buying. There may be pent-up demand. price of money is higher now, not kind of sure what's going to happen with consumer sales, but forecasts for 2024 are 3% higher than 2023, but still not back to pre-COVID levels. So that's just something we need to be thinking about as a port and our market share, yet we are seeing those inventories build back up and volumes quite high in terms of restocking cars at retail. General performance is very strong at the Port of Hueneme. Over the last decade, we've seen about 80% growth in cargo. So that's just a real positive for our community because of the economic prosperity and social mobility it creates. This is just showing where we sit in terms of total TEU performance or container performance. Another stat I like to throw out there, I can't help it, I'm a little competitive if you haven't noticed, but I come from the East Coast in Massachusetts, and I just like pointing out that we move more containers than Boston. So another fun stat. When you look at the county's GDP, trade is a very integral part of our GDP and a top performer. So if you look, we trend with GDP performance, but we outperform it. So trade is very important to the overall economic health of our county. When you look at that 80% growth, it translates directly into economic opportunity. We've seen job growth of 144%. Tax revenues for our local communities are up 224%, and total economic output, we are now at 2.8 billion economic force in our county with a 150% increase in economic output over the last decade. When you drill down to direct jobs, we employ about 3,500 people, and 63% of the people that work at the port live in our geopolitical area, the cities of Port Hueneme and Oxnard, which is really important because they're impacted communities, and they have the benefit of these jobs that come with the port, and they're good paying, family-sustaining wages that come with port jobs. So a critical part of upward mobility for our local community. We are the recipient of $106 million worth of grants, $80 million coming from our governor in a budget allocation, along with grants from our partners at BCTC, bringing close to $11 million for electrifying our port. We're going to put this money to work in building parking structures, doing some staging improvements, but most importantly to green our operations and move to a decarbonized footprint. With a goal of reaching there by 2030, we'll be releasing our decarbonization plan, blueprint to decarbonization, in the coming weeks, and have a robust goal to hit that target by 2030. Community, again, back to the DNA of our board, the heart of the port, and giving back and making our community part of the fabric of what we do. We have a saying, you can't have community without commerce, and you can't have commerce without community. So we try to reinvest in our community in many impactful and intentional ways. We do about $300,000 in scholarships. We have revenue sharing agreements with the city of Port Hueneme. We run a trade logistics class with our high school students, and excelling students get paid internship. And we do about 2,000 tours on an annual basis. If you look at the photo there of the kids on the bus, they kind of come in dragging their feet, but once they've seen ships and cranes and green bananas, they leave looking pretty jazzed. So we'll pay for busing if the kids can't get here. Just a very important part of our work to give back to our community and support that really positive relationship. We also have a Banana Fest. If you haven't come, please do. It's the last weekend of September. We get a turnout of about 12,000 people to come here and help celebrate a diverse working port. And then finally, on the innovation front, you're going to get a tour of the FathomWorks laboratory, but we're also a recipient of a state grant to build up our innovation and our technology when it comes to data. And so some of the topics that will be discussed today will be very important to us to learn how we can put this funding to work and really excel in the world of innovation. FathomWorks, you're in this space. It's amazing. It's an incubator hub. It's a Ventura Tech Bridge for our Navy. It's a collaborative with the Economic Development Committee, a company called Matter Labs, which has access to venture capital and kind of the brains of the organization when it comes to innovation and technology, as well as our Navy. And we incubate technology here that has applications perhaps for the Navy, so you can access a big contract with the Navy, or to the contrary, if something's getting developed in the Navy, can get incubated here and be sold to the U.S. consumer. And so we've done some cool stuff in battery technology. I understand that somebody developed a starter for a rocket ship, so you only have to launch the rocket ship once now. I guess you had to click the clicker a few times in the past. So some really stuff coming out of this space, and you'll learn a lot more about that. We have a quick video here that shows how we also put this space to work. Where you're sitting right now, about 2 months ago, was home to what's called Lego First, a robotics competition where we had 1,500 high school students come in from all over the West Coast and compete their robots that they had been building all year in the classroom. And this is where they go and they fight each other and they have to perform all these obstacles. And then behind those bleachers, they go back to a pit. And it's much like NASCAR. They have all these shelves in there and they're all labeled, and they go in there and they rehabilitate their robot for the next round. And then the excelling students go on to nationals and then worlds. So been a really neat way to integrate with our local youth and share the wealth of the port with the community at large. And I think we end with our jingle. So when you leave here, we want you all to sing this, and then we'll dig into our program.
We're the P-O-R-T of Hueneme, committed to environment, caring for community. 'Cause we make cargo move, congestion free, helping partners grow for opportunity. We make cargo move, and we go green for a healthy life and community.
Everyone got that? All right, enjoy your day, everyone. Back to Drew.
All right, so if anyone wants to volunteer to sing that here on stage, we'll make time for you in the program next year. So thank you for those updates, Kristen. It sure has been an incredible growth period for our port and global trade. And I want to shout out our amazing port business partners, our port operators, some that are here, and in the entire port labor force that helped make that happen. So big props to the entire port family. Yeah, port operators, I see some of you here. Stand up, raise your hand. They're shy. Well, speaking of global trade, I'd like to now begin the next segment of our program, the trade updates from our global partners. So to start us off, I would like to call up Ambassador Ricardo Santana, Consulado de México in Oxnard. Consulado, por favor.
Good morning. My name is Ricardo Santana Velázquez. I am the Consul of Mexico here in Oxnard. And I was invited, thank you very much for that, to talk about our work, the way that we work together, Mexico and Port Hueneme. Okay. The first thing that I have to know is that our ongoing trading partnership continues to grow. We move passengers and commercial vehicles, heavy constructions machinery, tractors, and food. For us, Hueneme is very important because the location, strategically situated on the central coast of California, close to Los Angeles. For the infrastructure with the modern docks, storage facilities, and direct railway access. But also for the capabilities, specialized in refrigerated cargo, vehicles, and agricultural products that serves as a vital link between Mexico and California. Port of Hueneme trade with Mexico. In 2022, the bilateral trade between Mexico and California amounted to $73.7 billion. The Port of Hueneme handles over 1.5 million tons of cargo annually, being a crucial part of this exchange. At this time, Mexico ranks as its sixth trading partner. The first one, South Korea, United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, Sweden, and Mexico, and we are moving top imported and exported vehicles, bananas, avocados, pineapples, tractors, heavy machinery. What we have as opportunities and challenges, the future outlook. Despite challenges, trade between Mexico, California, and the port of Hueneme has a promising future with the opportunities of mutual growth. The growth opportunities is modernizing port infrastructure and streamlining custom process can further boost our bilateral trade. The challenges, port congestion around, changing trade regulations, and the need of efficient logistics are challenges to overcome. But I have 43 years working as a diplomat of my country, and I have been in a lot of places around the world, here in the United States in different consulates along the borderline. And I always see how the cargo is moving by land, but also in our ports. When I see that, I always think that we have to tell or speak with the Americans that the perception is like this one.
Dear USA, siblings are natural-born friends, life partners. They make us laugh and guide our way. Like siblings, we may be different, but our connection is unbreakable. You have always been the brave and the adventurous one, and I have always been the fearless and the colorful one. We have grown and dreamed together. We have shared wonderful times imagining, playing, even becoming superheroes, flying and navigating the stars, inventing and creating magical stories. We each have our own ambitions, yet we have always inspired each other. Remember our dreams of traveling to the world's most magical, even surreal places? Let's make it happen. Let's soar above your incredible national parks and journey through my mystical jungles. Let's climb your tallest mountains and skyscrapers and explore the sacred trails and traditions of my ancestors. Let's applaud your grand shows and immerse ourselves in my awe-inspiring natural wonders. Let's feel the energy of your glamorous cities and experience my vibrant and magical colonial towns. You already know many of my beaches. They are world famous for both celebrations and relaxation. But did you know that you can visit other beaches with hidden, sacred, and even fluorescent waters? I can't begin to describe what you will feel when we go surfing on sand dunes. How about practicing yoga by the sea, or in breathtaking natural landscapes, or hearing some of the world's oldest living languages as you stroll through my colorful markets? You will fall in love with my ancient treasure cuisine and its unforgettable flavors. There is so much for us to explore and experience together. The only question is, how far will we go? We can always have our differences, but let's make them our strengths and source of inspiration. The reason why we love and respect each other always. Because above all, we share a common value, our deep passion for freedom. Come, let's fly, and together we will discover new worlds and experience our wildest dreams. With love, Mexico.
If we are neighbors, let's be good neighbors. If we are trade partners, let's be good trade partners. The United States is the best friend of Mexico. And of course, we are ready to stay close of the United States always. God save America, God save Mexico. Thank you very much.
Gracias, Consul Santana Velasquez. I know that video got me excited to plan a vacation soon. Okay, following next, I would like to call up Mantas Zamzikas, Commercial Attaché of Lithuania to the USA and Consulate General of Lithuania in Los Angeles.
Good morning. All right, Lithuania will be not exception, and we're gonna show you the short movie as well. So, all right, so, okay, how to start it? Are you gonna help me? Really? Oh, yeah.
Dear world, my name is Lithuania, and I'm the employee that you're looking for. Give me a challenge and I will deliver. In fact, I'm a bit of an overachiever. When I turn my hand to something, and I've done a lot of amazing things, I don't just want to be great at it. I want to be the best. With all my experience, I can say with pride that I'm as close as you can get to a master of all trades. So here I am. I think you'll agree I'm gorgeous. Smart. Creative. Ambitious. Hardworking. And engaging. Oh, and did I mention, I'm very well connected. And now, I'm ready to put all this to work. For you. I look forward to hearing from you. Sincerely yours, Lithuania.
Thank you. Hopefully now you will consider vacation in Lithuania as well. All right. So, a couple of things about Lithuania that wasn't mentioned in the video. So, we are located in the geographical center of Europe. We are only 2.9 million in population, so we're a really small nation. And fun fact, we are size of West Virginia. So, comparing to the US, we are quite small country, but really ambitious. Currency euro. We are proud member of NATO and European Union for already 20 years. So again, for many US investors, it's a gateway and great advantage when we consider expansion in Europe. Fast connection infrastructure, again, it's very important for trade. So the companies who already invested in Lithuania and open manufacturing facility and export to other European countries. We have a great infrastructure and that connects Lithuania to many European big cities. So not only the port of Klaipėda, which is the biggest in Lithuania, and by the way started collaboration with Port of Hueneme only last year, so we cannot tell now and be proud of big trade numbers, but hopefully in upcoming years the numbers will increase. We do have 3 international airports that connect to biggest European cities, so it's very convenient for international companies to work from Lithuania and operate in Lithuania. Performance in foreign direct investments, so our top investors in Lithuania are United States, United Kingdom, Germany and Norway. So companies like Hollister, Thermo Fisher are already in Lithuania. We employ thousands of employees. And hopefully in upcoming years, more good news will come. Such a small nation as Lithuania cannot survive by not exporting to other countries. So 80% of Lithuanian GDP is generated by export. So it's huge numbers, and it's very important numbers. And our most important trade partners is Germany, Poland, Latvia, and the United States of America. So as I mentioned, hopefully in upcoming years will be much more trade with Hueneme port as well that I could present in upcoming events. And such a small country as Lithuania also needs to focus on specific industries and have focus industries. So life sciences, ICT, and smart manufacturing is very important for Lithuanian economy at the moment. So even Lithuanian government set a very ambitious goal for life sciences industry to reach 5% of GDP by 2030. And I'm gonna continue with some couple of success stories. You probably saw this guy on video. It's one of the most famous scientists in Lithuania, which invented CRISPR technology, gene editing technology, which hopefully in upcoming years will help to cure many rare diseases around the world. Rocket Lab recently launched nano-avionics satellite bus, which was made in Lithuania. So again, Lithuanian government invests a lot in aerospace industry and wants to become one of the main players, specifically in small satellites. The industry we are really proud of for more than 50 years already. It's Lithuanian photonics and laser industry. For this industry, California is #1 export destination. And we export more than 90% of laser systems that are manufactured or invented in Lithuania. And this year, in January, Lithuanian laser invented by Lithuanian company Expla was recognized as the world's best laser. And what is laser? It sounds like, you know, some gadget probably that you can measure, I don't know, room parameters or something like that, but it's more scientific thing, and most of your probably cell phones has a glass, and this glass, it's a great chance were processed by Lithuanian laser technology. Wow, a lot of birds around, I like it. Where nature and, you know, ports connect, yeah. And last not least, it's fintech. So after UK left EU, Lithuania became #1 fintech country in terms of licensed fintech companies. So we are really proud that companies like Revolut, Kevin, and many more chose Lithuania to develop their fintech technologies. And we are really proud that Lithuanian government were able in a couple years create very favorable infrastructure for fintech companies and attract huge number of investors. So this is a very short presentation about Lithuania. Thank you very much for your attention, and hopefully in upcoming events I will be able to present more trade data with Port of Hueneme. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Consulate General Zamzikas. I appreciate all that information. And if there's anything Hueneme we could relate, it's small can be very mighty. So next up, we welcome Sean Kagan, Senior Trade Policy Advisor, a British Consulate General for Los Angeles of the Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Office.
Fantastic. Hi, everyone. I'm Sean Kagan, Senior Trade Policy Advisor based at the British Consulate General in Los Angeles. It was a beautiful drive this morning. It's really, really lovely just to get out of LA, get into the countryside a little bit. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come to the Port of Hueneme and do this presentation about the UK and US special relationship. Just to start off, I want to acknowledge that the US is the UK's largest export market for goods and services, so it's a really important trading relationship for the United Kingdom. The Atlantic Declaration, June 2023, really sets a framework for the US-UK economic partnership. US-UK bilateral investment is worth over 1.5 trillion, supporting more than 2.7 million jobs, so really, really important relationship. And it's great to be at a port where you can see that happening. You can see the goods coming in. As part of the Atlantic Declaration, there's a very strong focus on advancing cooperation on economic security, technology protection, and supply chains. Importantly, there's also a focus on partnering on joint clean energy supply chain work as well. I'm not sure if, forgive me if the figures are a little small. I'm not sure, will there be an opportunity to send these slides later for those who would like to see it in more detail? This slide here shows foreign direct investment from the UK supporting jobs across California. To note, FDI from the UK supports over 94,000 jobs in California across over 2,300 establishments, with close to $9.4 billion in wages paid to California workers. About 65,000 of these jobs are in the Southern California region, with 26,000 in the Bay Area as well. Here are the largest sectors by employment for investment from the UK. The largest by far is professional and business services, but it's closely followed as well by manufacturing, retail trade, leisure and hospitality, and there are many other sectors listed here as well. Some of these might be familiar names to you. These are the top 10 UK employers in California. To note, there are over 900 different UK companies employing workers in California. At the top is Experian, followed by Princess Cruise Lines, Deloitte, and many others. And even more recognizable, here are the top 10 UK employers in Ventura County, Cavlico, Megit Safety Systems, and many others here listed too. This slide shows bilateral goods trade between the UK and California. To note, the top exports from California to the UK, as well as imports from the UK to California, are shown. So many of these top sectors for exports include computer and electronic products, chemicals, transportation equipment, secondhand merchandise. And for top 5 imports, we have transportation equipment again, computer and electronic products, machinery, and other goods as well. And so when I was first invited to come, I was given 2 to 3 minutes to present. Unfortunately, we have many beautiful videos about the UK. Just a show of hands, who has been to the UK? A lot of hands, that's fantastic. Well, hopefully we can get ships looking like this with our lovely cargo containers shaped in the flag coming this way here as well too. But thank you again. Happy to answer any questions if there's an opportunity. But thanks again for the invitation. Great to be here.
I personally have not been to the UK, but I am looking forward to going, so I'm glad I have your contact. Thank you, Consulate General Kagan. We appreciate the UK connection to the US, California, and even Ventura County, so thank you for sharing. To wrap up our trade updates from our global partners, I would like to now call up Betty Young, Business Development Officer for the Hong Kong Trade Development Council.
Sorry, I need to adjust this. So yeah, I'm Asian, so I don't have that European height. Good morning. My name is Betty Young with the Hong Kong Trade Development Council. Just in case you don't remember my last name, to help you remember, I'm the girl who is young forever. Got it? All right, let me see if this works. Okay. All right, I would like to spend the next 4 hours to talk about why Hong Kong may be your ideal business partner. Are you all ready for that? Get your notes and paper ready, okay? Have any of you been to Hong Kong before? Bill? Yeah, I know. Hong Kong is actually a tiny little city based in southern part of China, but it is located within 4 hours drive from the key markets in Asia, and also within 5 hours from half of the world's population. In Asia, there are two key growth markets. The Greater Bay Area, mainland China, i.e. the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau region, and also the ASEAN, RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Hong Kong has a natural close ties to these two important markets, and we are here to help connect international companies to meet many of the rising opportunities in these markets, and also in growing sectors like innovation and technology, medical and healthcare, and also sustainability. All right, next slide. Sorry, you know that I did not prepare these slides. My colleagues did, so I have to cheat. I'm just being honest. Okay, for Hong Kong, we do have some very strong fundamentals. Like we have a level playing field, so there's no like everybody's equal. Doesn't matter if you're a local company or international company trying to do business in Hong Kong. And if you have a contract joining Hong Kong, it's protected, or your IP is also protected. Hong Kong is the only Chinese city that practices common law. Our International Arbitration Center offers flexible and efficient dispute resolution. We have excellent business environment, free flow of information, people, goods, and capital. Hong Kong has one of the most friendly has a very friendly tax system in Hong Kong. I'm sure all of you have like a headache when it comes to April 15. I have to file my personal tax return. Me too. But in Hong Kong, the taxation is a lot simpler, so it's not as complicated as we have in the U.S. Sorry. And also, the Hong Kong dollar is very stable. It's almost it's actually tied to the U.S. dollar, so it's basically about $1 to 7.8 Hong Kong dollars. So when you do your trading, you can pretty much work on that formula. You don't have to worry about what if the currency fluctuates tomorrow, and do you have to rewrite the contract and things like that. So those are the fundamentals that are making Hong Kong a very easy business partner. Hong Kong also have strengths and advantages in these traditional sectors, like as mentioned earlier, international financial center, logistics, regional trade, real estate, and professional services. And Hong Kong is very successful. It's not big, but it's a small city, and we do not have any natural resources. How can we be so successful? It's because we have a lot of talents. We have intelligent people like me. Because we have been internationally for a long time, so our workforce are actually well-trained. They have very good experience working with countries from the East and from the West. And most of the business people you encounter in Hong Kong, they'll be very familiar with the Western culture and practices. So when you go into the market, you don't have to worry about what if they don't speak my language? What if they don't understand my culture? So that is making it a little bit worry-free for many people. Now we have arrived at a very exciting slide. So why do we want to do business? We want to meet new opportunities. How Hong Kong can facilitate these new opportunities? Like I mentioned in an earlier slide, the opportunities in innovation, medical, sustainability, and creative. As I represent the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, we organize a lot of trade events in Hong Kong to bring opportunities to business, to companies internationally, globally. We organize the innovation and technology arena, like the Asian Financial Forum, and also we launched the InnoX in April 2023 to bring together influential tech experts, entrepreneurs, investors to exchange insights and foster collaboration. In medical and healthcare, along with the Hong Kong SAR government, we organized the Asia Summit on Global Health, bringing together healthcare experts from around the world to network to explore business opportunities. Sustainability. Global brands are increasingly committed to making their supply chain sustainable. And this will create opportunities in the Greater Bay Area as a major global manufacturing hub. The Hong Kong Trade Development Council promotes awareness of sustainability at some of our flagship events like the Eco Expo, which we put together exhibitors and buyers from all over the world in the trade, and also our Asian Financial Forum again, and the Belt and Road Summit are the other flagship events with a special focus on green financing. Creative. This sector is composed of a variety of digital businesses from a range of digital entertainment, exports, digital marketing, multimedia design, creative technologies, and more. Fremont, like in Hollywood, and other mega events like the Hong Kong International Licensing Show, Business at IP Forum, all provide IP trading opportunities and support IP trading in terms of marketing, knowledge, sharing, business matching, networking, and capacity building. Oh, I have 2 more minutes. I thought I have 2 more hours. So along with the other organizations in Hong Kong, the Hong Kong Trade Council provides resources and information to assist business who would like to utilize the Hong Kong business platform. I think that it's just my talking is probably really boring, so I try to find something exciting online, and I find this video, and I hope it works. If it doesn't work, then it's not my fault.
Every morning is a new dawn in Hong Kong, fueled by fresh ideas and endless energy. Hong Kong is looking ahead, a unique place that not only embraces change, but prospers within it. Hong Kong applauds ambition, salutes hard work, and rewards effort. Hong Kong is a place that speaks your language, shares your aspirations, and accepts you for who you are. Hong Kong is a place that welcomes the world and is home to multicultural communities from across the globe, with unrivaled access to mainland China and connected to everywhere. A place that glows with energy and pulsates with power. A place to live, to love, to thrive, and to succeed. A place where the whole world comes to look ahead. So come and say hello, Hong Kong, and let's look ahead together in Asia's World City.
Thank you. I actually bought some snacks, my childhood memory snacks. So come by my little table afterwards and pick up your snacks, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Young, or should I say Miss Young forever? Can we get another warm round of applause for all our amazing global partners? Thank you so much for participating here at the Port of Hueneme's 11th Annual World Trade Week event. As we prepare for our keynote speaker, before we start, we actually have a video surprise from a special guest who would like to share a few words with us all. Joining us with a video message, I would like to introduce Grant T. Harris, Assistant Secretary of Commerce, International Trade Administration, a bureau of the U.S. Department of Commerce.
Hello. Thank you to the Port of Hueneme for inviting me to help celebrate the start of World Trade Week. I wish that I could join you in person, and I hope that you have a fantastic event. This port has always had a special place in my heart. Growing up in Ventura, I have my own family history associated with the port and community. My mom worked in Hueneme for a summer as a school nurse early on in her career, and years before that, my grandfather spent some time at the port when he was serving in the U.S. Navy. Today, my cousin's husband, Tom Graves, he was stationed at the Hueneme Sea Base for years, and after he retired as the military chief of police for the base, he then took a civilian position at the Naval Sea Systems Command, NAVSEA, and he continues to work at the Hueneme base. Today, I've got the honor of serving at the U.S. Department of Commerce, and my team, the Industry and Analysis Business Unit, is more than 275 industry experts and economists with one simple job: advance the global competitiveness of U.S. companies. We do this with sectoral and analytic expertise, with policy, recommendations, and by working very closely with industry. Our ideas are what's helping strengthen global supply chains. Our outreach and our work with you is what's helping making them more resilient. And our day in and day out work, analysis, and recommendations are helping the U.S. government partner with you to advance our economic competitiveness and national security. I want to take a moment in particular so I can talk about supply chains and what we're doing. We see this as critical for supporting U.S. companies and workers and lowering costs for American families. And we recognize that whether it's our medicine cabinets, the shelves in our grocery stores, the cars that we drive, or even the devices we use every day, that our nation's supply chains affect all of us. It's why increasing their resilience is one of our top priorities here at the Department of Commerce. I'm proud to say that we've established a first-of-its-kind supply chain center within the Department of Commerce, and it's working day in and day out to strengthen American supply chains and support U.S. competitiveness and jobs and communities. Our industry and analysis analysts and our team at the Supply Chain Center are partnering with labor and academia and industry and civil society to make sure that we're asking the right questions, that we're sharing best practices, and that we are innovating to make sure that we are doing all that we can to mitigate and respond to supply chain risks. Our goal is quite simple. It's to make the U.S. as effective and strategic as possible in supporting stronger and more resilient supply chains, and this will run to the benefit of companies and communities across the country. We are aware that building resilient supply chains has never been more important, and we know that no one understands this more than American businesses and communities, large and small, who were hit hard by the unprecedented disruptions at the height of the pandemic. And I know that everyone in attendance is acutely aware of this as well. Tragedies like the one we recently witnessed in Baltimore also highlight vulnerabilities within supply chains and underscore the importance of preparedness and resilience. We know and appreciate that industry partners like the Port of Hueneme are right there with us, working to solve these issues. And during the pandemic, we know that the port stepped up and helped alleviate congestion at other West Coast ports, worked with on-time service providers like FedEx, and sought creative solutions with the U.S. Navy to secure additional space to stage cargo and avoid disruptions at the port. By helping to bypass blockages elsewhere in supply chains, the Port of Hueneme relieved pressure in critically affected areas and allowed for quicker resolutions to the crisis. It was commendable work. Together, we're doing these vital efforts to improve resilience, and as a result, we're strengthening U.S. economic competitiveness, protecting U.S. national security, lowering costs for American families, and creating good-paying jobs and equitable economic opportunities. So once again, thank you for inviting me to help commemorate this important occasion. I wish you a successful World Trade Week event, and thank you again for all of the incredible work you're doing to keep America's ports and supply chains strong and resilient.
How cool is that? Thank you, Assistant Secretary Harris, for being a part of our World Trade Week event. We hope to welcome you back to Ventura County and to the Port of Hueneme one of these days. For our keynote speaker today, I have the great distinct honor of introducing and sharing some background information on Ms. Caroline Kaufman. Caroline Kaufman is the industry's team lead in the Office of Supply Chain Services, SCS, at the International Trade Administration, a bureau of the U.S. Department of Commerce. In this role, Caroline oversees a team that delivers expertise on a range of supply chain transportation, logistics, and distribution service industries, including maritime ports. Lucky for us. Previously, Caroline was an international trade specialist and presidential management fellow with SCS, focused on air services, e-commerce, supply chain technologies and digitization, and supply chain sustainability. Prior to her time in government, Caroline worked for Nathan Associates, Inc., now a Cadmus company, where she supported international development programs focused on trade policy and facilitation, regional economic integration, and women's economic empowerment. Caroline holds a master's in public policy from Harvard's Kennedy School of Government and a Bachelor of Arts in International Relations and Development Economics from Tufts University. Please join me in welcoming up to the stage our keynote speaker, Caroline Kaufman.
Good morning, everyone. That was such a nice introduction. It's great to be joining you all here in person today. I've come all the way from Washington, D.C. As you just heard, my name is Caroline Kaufman. I'm the team lead for the industries team in the Department of Commerce's Office of Supply Chain Services. My office is one of the offices under the department's Industry and Analysis business unit, which you just heard from Assistant Secretary Harris all about. And I'd like to just take a moment to acknowledge the great work of all of the city, county, and state officials on behalf of the Industry and Analysis team who are here representing Ventura County and who are in attendance today as real champions of economic prosperity, supporters of global trade, and advocates for American small business owners. I would like to extend my gratitude to the Port of Hueneme and Oxnard Harbor District Commissioners. That includes President Selena Zacarias, Vice President Jess Ramirez, Secretary Jason Hodge, Commissioner Marianne Rooney, and Commissioner Jess Herrera for the invitation to participate here today and for the invitation for Assistant Secretary Harris to participate virtually in this year's World Trade Week event. We greatly appreciate the opportunity to address all of you. And lastly, I would also like to thank CEO and Port Director Kristen Dekas and her dedicated team for the hard work in putting this excellent event together, and it really has been an excellent program so far. To echo the Assistant Secretary, the department recognizes the critical role that maritime services and ports like the Port of Hueneme play in ensuring strong supply chains and the smooth movement of goods throughout the United States and also around the world. So I'm really glad to be here today to have the opportunity to expand a bit on my office's role in supporting the department's and INA's efforts on U.S. supply chain resiliency. So let me start by providing some background on my office. Not you, Siri. Some background on my office, what we are focused on, and the supply chain trends that we have been tracking. The Department of Commerce has one overarching goal, though we are a large department with wide-ranging number of offices. That goal is to improve America's economic competitiveness, and this is done by carrying out our mission to create the conditions for economic growth and opportunities for all communities. And my office and the other offices within industry and analysis work very hard to support that overarching goal. My office assesses commercial supply chain services data and stakeholder views in order to contribute to an interagency policymaking process. We do that so that Commerce can promote and foster policies that create the foundation for our transportation and logistics service providers to improve goods movement through our seaports, as well as through our airports, our storage centers, via trucking and railway services, all of which, as I know many of you know well, are critical to the backbone of strong supply chains. The industries team, which is the team that I lead, as you just heard from Drew, consists of analysts who provide expertise on and support the international competitiveness of the range of all the modes of transportation, the range of distribution and logistics industries that are all fundamental to the movement of goods, and that includes our work supporting ports and maritime services. Our team works to open new markets for U.S. supply chain services industries, as well as to address barriers in international markets that may be hindering U.S. competitiveness and preventing our industries from competing effectively abroad. We also work to identify challenges that industry might be facing domestically in order to ensure smooth movement of goods throughout the United States, as well as to foster the success of our domestic manufacturing capabilities. My office also has a cross-cutting team. They are looking at these transportation, logistics, and distribution services a bit more holistically. Understanding how each of these services and facilities interact with one another and affect the entire system is really crucial to how we're doing our work. Both of our teams work closely together, and we also work closely with a range of stakeholders, including experts from industry, as well as from labor organizations, academia, and international partners, just to name a few. This engagement is really important to us. It helps us to understand the supply chain trends that our stakeholders are facing on the ground, and then that in turn can help to inform our policy positions. Over the past 4 years, our office has closely tracked supply chain disruptions, of course including those caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as some of the more recent supply chain disruptions that we've been seeing. And we've also been tracking this new normal that our supply chains and our shipping and logistics services providers have been adapting to. Many of you likely experienced directly the pandemic-induced congestion and disruption that had such a profound effect on the operation of global and U.S. supply chains of all types, as well as more recent disruptions, including the situation that we've been seeing with the drought at the Panama Canal. Supply chain has really become a household term over the past several years. It's no longer considered just industry jargon, as households have begun to realize that port congestion and other supply chain disruptions can have a direct impact on the availability and the prices of the things that they're looking to buy in the stores. The supply chain crises of the pandemic, along with some of these more recent disruptions, have demonstrated just how deeply interconnected and interdependent each of our different supply chain actors are, how vulnerable our industries and our economy can be to major world crises, and the importance of fostering supply chain resiliency. Ports and other maritime industry partners are a critical piece of this resiliency equation. Roughly 80% of international trade happens by sea, and as multimodal nodes, ports are both uniquely vulnerable to supply chain disruptions, but importantly are also at the center of the solutions to these disruptions. And I think that the Port of Hueneme itself is an excellent example of all of this. Hueneme is a critical link in the US automotive supply chain, which is one of the United States' biggest exports. And the port has also stayed true to its nickname, the port the farmers built, by continuing to be a vital link for US farmers to seamlessly export their products. And I won't be forgetting the banana statistic anytime soon. During the COVID-19 pandemic as well, as you heard briefly from Assistant Secretary Harris, the port's ability to step in and ease some of the congestion that was being felt at some of the other West Coast ports, as well as at ports around the country, really helped to ensure that our critical supply chains were able to keep moving during this crisis. Now looking forward, our ports, like the Port of Hueneme, are adapting to a new normal. They must continue to be responsive to their customers while also adjusting to increased digitalization, adapting to new technologies, navigating new regulatory requirements, transitioning to greener, more sustainable operations, and meeting the evolving needs of their workers who themselves are critical to keeping our ports operating. And all of this while dealing with and preparing for the next supply chain disruption. So very easy job you all have. As we look towards building supply chain resiliency in the face of these new disruptions, the importance of partnering with industry to strengthen our supply chains and our economy cannot be understated. Assistant Secretary Harris highlighted this in his remarks, and I just really couldn't agree more. I'd like to highlight a few of the concrete ways that my office, the Office of Supply Chain Services, is supporting the department's and I&A's efforts to bolster supply chain resiliency and the way that we engage with our industry partners in order to do so. Supporting the ports and maritime industries is a key focus for my team. One way that we do this is by connecting U.S. industry stakeholders with opportunities to export their services. For example, we provide support on international port development proposals that seek U.S. companies to provide port services. The focus of these projects can range from infrastructure development to the supply of heavy equipment and machinery to marine terminal operation services. It really can span quite a bit. And we work closely with our partners in ITA's Global Markets Business Unit, and you'll hear from my colleagues shortly. And that includes the team that you have co-located here with you at the port. We also work with a wide range of interagency partners, such as the Department of State or the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation, in order to identify qualified and interested U.S. companies and to then support those companies in accessing these international opportunities. Our team is currently supporting and will be participating in a rail and port trade mission to South Africa and Angola to take place in late August. We're very excited about this. We're going to be taking a group of U.S. companies first to a rail conference in South Africa and then on to a port visit in Angola, where participating companies will have the opportunity to meet with government officials and business leaders in the port and rail sectors and to make those connections. Right now, we're in the process of conducting outreach to companies that might be interested in the trade mission. So interested companies can expect to find a Federal Register notice in the coming weeks that will provide instructions on how you can apply to join. And I also am happy to provide further information if there are companies present that might be interested in that opportunity. As we moved beyond some of these pandemic-induced disruptions, our team has also been prioritizing tracking some of the new supply chain bottlenecks that I've been mentioning, particularly where maritime and ports or any of the other modes of transportation that we cover may be impacted. Our goal is to provide analysis on current or future impacts to U.S. industry or more broadly to the U.S. economy that a particular disruption may have. So in practice, what that means is when a disruption occurs, such as the tragedy in Baltimore with the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, or during ongoing disruptions such as what we're seeing again in the Panama Canal or the situation in the Red Sea, our team works to provide a full picture of the event, its supply chain and economic impacts, both what we're seeing currently and projected, what is being done by various actors to try to mitigate some of those impacts, and then, whenever possible, the timeline to restoring normal operations. And we rely on a range of sources to get this information, but really critical to our efforts there is our outreach to our industry stakeholders to understand, what you all are seeing on the ground. Supply chain sustainability is also an important priority for our team, and it's been great to hear so much this week about the focus that the West Coast ports have on sustainability. Our office closely tracks and monitors how supply chain services industries are affected by, responding to, and working to mitigate the effects of climate change. In 2022, our office published an inaugural sustainability report, which we aim to use as sort of a primer for the public on the range of U.S. Both public and private sector initiatives that are focused on decarbonizing the freight and logistics industries. We're currently working on an update to that report, and we're hoping to capture kind of a snapshot of what's really an ever-changing supply chain sustainability landscape, but really trying to highlight sustainability and clean technology initiatives, again, both public and private, that can help to foster public-private collaboration globally and within the United States. The 2022 report is available publicly on our website, and I'm hopeful that in the coming months we'll be able to publish that updated version of the report to our website as well, so keep an eye out. And, I really want to acknowledge the Port of Hueneme's leadership in this space as well. Ports really are central to, or have a unique role in both contributing to and being directly impacted by climate change, and therefore the role that you all play in addressing climate change is really critical. So it was great to hear about the $80 million grant that the port was awarded last year to make some of the infrastructure improvements necessary to reducing your carbon footprint, such as through zero-emission electric plugins for reefer containers, among a wide range of other initiatives. And I also congratulate you all on receiving your 7th Green Maritime certification last year. Just the work you all are doing here is really impressive and really important to achieving greener, more sustainable operations that can help to move us forward in the fight against climate change. My team also works to support U.S. cold chain services, which I know are critical to the agricultural supply chains that the Port of Hueneme is helping to facilitate. Cold chain has significant implications for food safety and nutrition and in preventing global losses in the food industry, which total more than $750 billion annually. And those losses primarily result from the lack of proper cold chain facilities, improper food safety handling procedures, and inefficient training for personnel working in the cold chain. So cold chain is really central to these preventing these losses in the food industry. And this also ties in directly with our focus on sustainability, because food loss and consequent overproduction is a huge carbon emitter. And making cold chain services, this makes cold chain services an important solution to help greening our agricultural supply chains. So across all of the work, whether on the sustainability work that I was just talking about or supporting U.S. exports that I touched on earlier, our collaboration with the industry is really key. And I've touched on a number of different ways that we interact with our industry partners, and I'd like to highlight one other industry engagement avenue that we have, which is our office's administration of the Secretary's Advisory Committee on Supply Chain Competitiveness, or ACSCC, which is quite a mouthful. But it's a high-level group of the leading U.S. supply chain executives. This committee provides our secretary with detailed advice and recommendations on the elements of a comprehensive policy approach to supply chain competitiveness that is designed to support U.S. export growth, facilitate the movement of goods, improve the competitiveness of U.S. supply chains, and of U.S. supply chains for goods and services in both the domestic but also in the global economy. The committee last met on March 7th, and members received updates from the Department of Commerce as well as from the White House and from the Department of Defense on the administration's work related to the bioeconomy, the implementation of the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework Supply Chain Agreement, which came into effect this past February, and the Commerce Department's CHIPS program. These are all priorities of our ACSCC members. And in this meeting, Secretary Gina Raimondo participated in a roundtable discussion with the leaders of the ACSCC and its 3 subcommittees focused on freight, data, and manufacturing competitiveness. During this roundtable, they discussed trade and customs facilitation with India and U.S. infrastructure investments, as well as their impact on supply chains, among a range of other areas, again, priorities for our committee members. The ACSCC meets several times a year, and these meetings are open to the public, so I would encourage any of you to participate if that is of interest to you. And if you are interested in learning more about the work of the ACSCC, including information about our upcoming meetings, I would encourage you all to visit our website. It's easy to remember, but I'm also happy to follow up with any of you after. It is trade.gov-ACSCC. The ACSCC meets several times a year, and those upcoming meeting dates will be posted to our website once they're finalized, so please keep an eye out there. And the website also includes all of the past ACSCC recommendations, and they deal with a range of different supply chain issues, again, including focused on manufacturing competitiveness, data and technology initiatives, and transportation, logistics, and customs-related issues. I'd like to end by reiterating that helping U.S. industry to achieve resilient supply chains is a key priority for the department, for INA, and for my Supply Chain Services office. And as I hope that my remarks have made clear, there really are so many ways that businesses can engage with us and with ITA more broadly. Our team welcomes direct outreach from stakeholders, whether it's to highlight a particular challenge or a trade barrier you all are facing, to seek support breaking into a new market, or just to request or share information with us. This is really the cornerstone of the work that we're able to do. So please consider us a resource. And I encourage you, though you probably don't need this encouragement, but to stay in touch with your local commercial service representative. I'm sure many of you are already very well acquainted with Mary Ann. But it's really together that our teams are able to ensure that we are helping to bring your supply chain concerns to light, that we're sharing them with other agencies where that is appropriate, and that overall we're working to facilitate the implementation of solutions that can help to restore growth for American businesses. So thank you again for having me today. It's really a pleasure to be joining you, and I would welcome any questions or the opportunity to connect with any of you afterwards. Thank you.
All right, great presentation, Caroline. Thank you for all the work that you are doing at your office, Supply Chain Services. It definitely seems there's a lot of overlap in our goals, and we look forward to advancing those together. We also hope that you enjoy your stay here, and thankful again for your willingness and interest in participating with us today. So another round of applause for Caroline, please. All right, as we approach the midway point of our program, I'd like to now remind everyone that today's lunch will be a quick lunch / working lunch, as we still have more exciting information and presenters in store for us. So box lunches will be in the back corner here, provided by DJs. We'll now have a quick 10-minute break to go grab our lunches and return to our seats to kick off the last half of our program. So we'll see everyone in 10 minutes. Thank you. One also reminder too, we do have some vendors. We have some ice cream also that is getting provided at our Mexican consulate booth by a local artisan. So please stop by for some ice cream if you'd like a little dessert with your box lunch. And we also have other booth vendors there as well. So it's free. Yes, thank you for the reminder. It's free. So please enjoy yourself. Stop by, get some ice cream, learn about a local business, and enjoy a sweet treat. Thank you. All right, test, test for my AV colleagues in the back. We're good? All right, excellent. It looks like we all stuck to our working lunch, quick lunch. Great job, everyone. Before we get underway with the remainder of our program, there are a few folks that are joining us for our event that I would also like to recognize. First, in the audience, we also have joining us Dr. Savette Johnson, Ventura County CEO. Dr. Johnson, thank you for joining us. We also have joining us appreciate it. All right. Let me find my place here. All right. So as we move right on along to our next segment of our program, Global Trade Updates, I would like to call up both Marianne Burke, Director of the U.S. Commercial Service U.S. Export Assistance Center Office at the Port of Hueneme, and Richard Swanson, Senior Advisor for the Office of the Regional Director, Pacific South Network, U.S. Commercial Service. Please, a round of applause. Thank you for the working lunch part, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, all right. Hi, everyone. Thank you. I know some of you, but some of you may not know me. And so I'm co-located here at the port, which is great. This partnership has been longstanding. I've been here about 2 years. But Richard, my colleague here, probably you all know. And so he's been covering this region. Drive, the phones we use, or the groceries we're buying. Every day, when you wake up to when you go to bed, at night, international trade is working. It's essential to our lives, and it's a force for good, which is why we're gathered here today celebrating World Trade Month and World Trade Week. It presents us all with the opportunity to celebrate the many ways international trade directly touches our lives. And right here at the Port of Hueneme, it has special meaning given that we see it every single day, and we're working in partnership together with industry and with our partners and associations that are here in Ventura County. About ITA, the International Trade Administration, so you heard from Caroline earlier, she's one division of ITA. And we're a federal agency, and we have more than 2,300 trade specialists around the country in about 100 U.S. cities, and that also includes 80 international markets where we have offices on the ground working at the U.S. embassies and consulates abroad. And here at the Port of Hueneme, we're helping exporters here in Ventura County, and Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo counties to export their goods and services. We promote U.S. exports, attract inbound investment, which Richard will be talking about, and protect industry competitiveness, which are critical U.S. technologies and services, and really defending U.S. companies against unfair trade as well. So as your U.S. government ITAs, of ITA. And as our customers, we are transforming your everyday touch point. We're trying to make it more online, serviceable, and user-friendly. So we'll be unveiling more of that later this month. But really, network to connect companies even more to your distribution buyers. So anyway, that's just kind of highlighting how exports matter. And again, how I work, how Richard's office down in Line is working, is really connecting U.S. exporters to overseas markets through that global network. We provide export counseling, so really sitting down one market intelligence. We have country commercial that are really helpful if you're just trying to dip your toe into a particular market, and what the opportunities, what the strengths are of the market, or maybe what political challenges there might be or issues. I guess, yeah, here's some of the market intelligence things that we'll do. We'll also provide some due diligence. If you get an inquiry from an overseas individual that you're not sure if they have a legitimate company or if it's just a phishing scam, our folks on the ground would usually provide some immediate feedback whether or not that's a viable opportunity or not. So that's another good thing to keep in mind. We're here locally that we can just kind of find out quickly for you so you don't have to go down a rabbit hole or just kind of, we're just here to really help you avoid any potential issues with trade as well. We offer, if you're traveling overseas, we're going, like Caroline mentioned, we have trade missions. That's another exciting one coming up for our agency. But we also, in the marine tech space, I also lead our marine technology agency. We focus on about 16 industries, one of which is marine technology, and we brought a delegation of 8 companies to see Japan recently. So we were able to organize some individual meetings for those companies that attended. So various ways, we really try to provide a customized approach for what your company needs, and we can kind of suss that out on these initial meetings before you have to travel overseas. But we'll also then engage with our people on the ground who can give you more insights. And then Advocacy Center we have in Washington as well, which I've worked with a number of you on. Really, if you are bidding on a foreign government tender or project, our Advocacy Center of Washington can help that support overseas that don't have a large international department. Maybe it's one person doing everything. So that's 79% of California exporters. So, again, consider us as a partner here locally to get you in touch with our overseas staff so that they can connect you to those overseas opportunities. So again, I'm here, gladly co-located with everyone here at the port, and I'd be happy to connect with you now or anytime you need us. And with that, I'll turn it over to Richard.
Thank you, Marianne. Would you guys mind if I use this and just kind of get away from the podium a little bit? Thank you very much. Get a picture of us at some point. We're going to try to post this. We're going to try to do some social media here later. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Yes, and team. First of all, I'd just like to thank Kristen Dekas for hosting again. I think this is the 12th, right? The 11th, okay. Oh, I think we did one at the Oxnard Chamber a while back too. So in my head, I always think 12. But as Marianne said, thank you so much. It's kind of a tag team. We're in Fort Hueneme. Good to see you guys. I'll have a few things to say about some of the stats that are going on, but I was able to generate a little report that I'll share with you. This is a Central Coastal Community Spotlight report. They do these on certain regions, and we picked one for here, the Central Coastal region. You're sort of at the bottom, lead up to Santa Barbara, and includes San Luis Obispo, too, and a little bit of Monterey County, too, I believe, too. So good stuff there. But as you can see in this photo, this was 2 years ago, or 2 summits ago. This is Secretary Gina Raimondo, our Secretary of Commerce. This is in National Harbor there. What's amazing is we had 55 of our 56 U.S. states and U.S. territories present. Guess which state wasn't there that year? But don't quote me. California was definitely there. Homage to Maria Honorato up there in Sacramento for her California Pavilion. That's it on the top right screen there, the California Pavilion. Has anybody been to Select USA here? Of course, Sean. Oh, Simona, Ray from the SBDCs. You guys are going to be back. It's a great event. So, but this was one of our and this was gathered between 2012 and 2021-ish. This area ranked 51st out of 3,101 categories in being the most diverse in terms of industry sectors. And so you can see that. That was your highest ranking. And you had a few other rankings in there too. The top greenfield, and greenfield means from the building up, you know, from the bottom up, that occurred here in this region were from Germany, Canada, Japan, Norway, and the Netherlands. So I don't know what's going on with Europe there, but you got a lot coming this way in Japan. I'm thinking Korea would be in there too. Don't you do a lot of cars from Korea? Okay, all right. Last year totally in 2023, we did $340 billion in FDI, and we were again #1. China's kind of, and Europe and other countries are right on our heels. And last year at the summit, we had 4,900 attendees. That was the most we've ever had. We also had 83 different markets from around the world visit in terms of delegations. So out of that 4,900, we had 600 EDOs. So if you're an EDO, if you're an economic development organization and you're interested in attracting foreign direct investment, this would be your venue to do this. This is going to take place June 23rd through the 26th, National Harbor. It's a great place. I also wanted to acknowledge our District Export Council of Southern California. I know a few of you are in the house. Bill, I see you. You're our new chair. Vince, our former chair. We got Ray. Who else am I missing? Rami. Okay. There you go. Who? What? Crystal Villagran. Yes, Crystal, my old colleague from the Department of Commerce. If you want to know about export controls, Crystal is the one. And Rami has just started a new subcommittee on the deck for media and entertainment, which is, very profound here in Southern California. It's very exciting. A lot of foreign direct investment in that area as well, and a lot of export promotion, and a lot of revenue streams. Marianne, I'm coming to my conclusion. You gave me a little too much time up here. But what I'd like to finish up on is there's two ways for us to generate revenue streams, new revenue streams here in the United States. One is through the selling of exports through services and products, the exchange of currency, and repatriating that back to the United States. The other one is through foreign direct investment. It's a little harder, it's a little longer, but it's worthy of that. And you've probably heard of the largest foreign direct investment here in the United States, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, $12 billion, building fab plants in and outside of the Phoenix area. Through our CHIPS Act, there was a grant to Intel just recently for over $8 billion to invest. To help you guys. And lastly, I want to just applaud Kristen and the port for capitalizing on the 3 A's of commerce. So Carolyn, from our industry and analysis, you've tapped into the Economic Development Administration, and you work very closely with the International Trade Administration. So thank you for being a great partner here and allowing us to be a part of it. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
If I just have another minute, though. If I have another minute, though. I think I do. So this is more of the California delegation. And like Richard mentioned about the District Export Council, so some key members are here, and there's 33 deck members. Letitia Austin is also a member here from the port. And they just contribute their expertise to, when people come to me. I mean, I'm only one person, so I really rely on and leverage the members, the deck members that we have, and the other people in the community that are experts in all these different areas that you need to know about international trade. And lastly, I want to thank Richard for being such a great champion for this region. There's been some turnover, and so he's kept it going and thriving for all these years, and just a great colleague. So, we love having you here. And Drew. I didn't know he was an intern.
All right. Thank you, Richard and Marianne. Just two great individuals, always willing to answer any questions that I might have. So if you have any questions, these two are treasure troves of information. So be sure to catch them to ask any questions after the event or at a later time. But speaking of treasure troves of information, this next upcoming roundtable panel discussion on technology with a focus on AI is sure to also provide some great insights. So I would like to now call up the entire roundtable panel and their moderator, Simona Rasic, to introduce themselves and get our panel discussion underway. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Port Hueneme. Thank you, Kristen, the director. Thank you, Drew, for inviting us to discuss a trendy hot topic today, the role of AI in international trade. I am an international trade specialist at the Economic Development Collaborative SBDC Center here in Ventura. We provide no-cost technical assistance to support the growth of companies in our region through export expansion, global expansion. Additionally, I'm the co-founder of a tech trade startup, a company that uses AI to streamline and reduce the cost of managing international trade transactions for small businesses. And today, it's a true pleasure to be here with all of you and to be joined by 3 top experts in our Southern California community. And I'm really pleased to have Dr. Ray Bowman with us. I'm sure Dr. Ray Bowman does not need an introduction in our community, Director of EDC SBDC Ventura. He is also managing the global department for our region, for SBDC, covering Los Angeles, Santa Barbara, and Ventura counties. Dr. Bowman is our top leader in trade, a researcher, a data analyst with over 3 decades of expertise in both the private sector and academia. Besides driving growth for businesses in our region, Dr. Bowman is also educating the next generation of global leaders. He is teaching international business, entrepreneurship, and operation management at Babson College, Cal State University Channel Islands, Emilum Business School in France, and also Moore Park College. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Bowman. Woohoo! We are also joined today by Todd Smith, the founder and CEO of KYG Trade, a novel SaaS platform and global marketplace that leverages AI technology to enable verified trade attestations for goods. With over 3 decades in trade consulting, Todd is dedicated to refining the efficiency, transparency, and security of global trade compliance and supply chain. Thank you, Todd, for joining us today. And then we also have Vincent Jacopella with us today, VP of Growth and Strategy at Alba Wheels Up International, licensed custom broker and 2020 recipient of Stanley Olfson Award. Vince leads a team that excels in navigating government regulations, freight forwarding, and providing innovative brokerage services that we'll hear all about today. Thank you, Vince, for joining us today. So what our speakers have in common is that they're all already transforming trade operation by applying AI to international trade. And while there are mixed feelings about AI, and we have understandable concern when it comes to accuracy, data security, our discussion today is going to focus on why AI is relevant to global trade and how it can be applied effectively. And I found this morning a really great quote that I want to see how many of you are going to agree with this. It is from one of the directors in OneSource Global. Global trade managers must have the technical know-how of an engineer, the legal sense of an attorney, the scrupulousness of an accountant, the organizational skills of a project manager, the business acumen of an executive, the cultural awareness of a diplomat, and the communication skills of a leader. Do we all agree with that? Yes. So that's a lot to ask of trade professional. It's a lot to balance, so we need help. So AI, it's a tool to help us to do our jobs better, to stay on top of the constant changing regulatory compliance. And it's important for us, it's important for our companies to understand how to use AI and how to use it to engage in international trade. So that's the role of the panels today. Let's just dive in and have a conversation about how AI is being applied to international trade. We're going to start with Dr. Bowman. Is this working? Yes. So Dr. Bowman, is this working? Yes. How does AI improve international trade operation and what new opportunities it creates? Okay.
All right. So that's an important question because I kind of joke around this. I was involved in freight forwarding for almost 25 years, and then, different aspects of trade. Now, doing a lot of trade consulting, and one of the jokes I always make lovingly is, if you brought Louis Pasteur from the dead and brought him into a modern hospital, he'd be lost and irrelevant and wouldn't know what to do. And if you, brought some of our most famous scientists, they have a lot of catching up to do. But if you resurrected Magellan, I think about 6 months he could work in a freight forwarding office, right? And the reason is we still have bills of lading. I mean, you can go to a museum and see a bill of lading and it looks the same as it is today. A letter of credit dates back to, 1200s, And so much of what we do looks the same as it did hundreds of years ago. Yet if we look at the velocity of trade, how many transactions we're doing, millions, hundreds of millions of more transactions that we're doing. So it's really important, to automate that. In fact, I remember several years ago, SAP did a study on global trade. And if you take all of global trade, which I think is around $30 trillion right now, if you take 7% of that, 7% of that is wasted on bad documentation, and that's only one part of compliance, right? So you need this better infrastructure to keep up, with the velocity of trade, and AI has a promise to do that. Now, some things to remember about AI. So just to let you know the ways in which I use AI. I use AI to teach international trade. So I'm actually an educator, and when I'm an educator, I've actually built AI bots that help me do simulations that I do within the classroom. But I also use it within our consulting. So our advisors are using AI tools that I built for our operation. And I also use it within my own operation as productivity tools. So some things to kind of remember about it is you have things like tokenizing, which means with generative AI, the more you use it, the more of a cost it drives up. That's why if you have ChatGPT, it'll limit you after a while, right? So that's a cost that you have to take into consideration. But next slide.
Next slide.
But some of the things that I'm doing currently with AI that I think are helping us with productivity. We do a lot of foreign market research, so I use AI to help do foreign market research. So, example, I can take reports, and I have a job to be done bot that will actually take and pick out the needs and look at gaps in services, depending upon different types of trade documentation. I use it to teach supply chain. I use it to train our own employees in it. I use it to do industry analysis. I use it to do client targeting. So I have AI bots that will read LinkedIn profiles and determine a pairing of service depending upon that. I do a lot of financial analysis doing AI. So our team will look at doing landed price analysis and then using that to build out the financials of a company and look at the impact on going into new markets on the financials of that company. So these are all different things that we do. And then there are other tools that we develop to help with things like, drafting out basic agreements in trade, or helping to mediate a transaction and doing simulations around that. So there's a lot of benefits to trade, but the digitization of trade is very, very critical. It's a discussion that is happening throughout the world because we need that digital infrastructure. And the way I look at the role of AI is we have different types of technology that help us with documentation. But what's interesting about AI is it can help us do a level of research that was really expensive for SMEs to do prior, right? So there's a lot of regulations with AI. And AI also has the promise of helping mediate trade. In other words, one part of trade is getting documentation, pricing correct. The other is having assistance in making sure that buyer and seller have an efficient transaction and someone's mediating them through that, which we spend a lot of time with. So I think that has a lot of promise there.
Thank you, Ray. And this is how one of the protobot looks like on the screen right now. One of my favorite bot is the one that helps determine the landed cost. We always start when we meet with a company and support the developing the export plan. The first place we start with is your landed cost, your price strategy, making sure that you protect your profit margin. So using this protobot that Dr. Bowman built helped me determine if companies have a good price strategy in place before they go to market. The next step in supporting a company grow internationally is trade compliance. It's regulatory compliance. So this is where I'm going to move to you, Todd, and ask you how can company leverage AI to effectively navigate the complexity of ever-changing regulation without the need to hire expensive consultants to support them navigate those changes?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that question. So I was a expensive consultant. Before I started KYG Trade, I'm a licensed broker, and I was a partner at KPMG, and my bill rate, yes, was very high. And when I was consulting for very large clients of KPMG and EY, I always was amazed at the amount of time wasted on getting information about the products that we were providing consulting services on. So, you know, we're talking here about exports to foreign countries, or whether you're importing from a foreign country. In order to answer questions about the regulations and to provide those answers to the governments of those countries that you're exporting or importing from, you got to know about the product. And we would spend 60% of our time, which again was not cheap, just getting information about the products that we were consulting on. And the way we did that was emails, PDFs, and attachments. After we finally got all our hands on the information, then we would go to work. You know, we would be looking at the regulations, we would be looking at the bill of materials and, you know, other aspects about the product, and then hone in on, okay, your HS code is this, or your ECCN is that, or your free trade agreement qualifies or it doesn't qualify. And so when I left the Big Four, it was to solve all of that. And that's what KYG Trade is. KYG stands for Know Your Goods. And when I started KYG Trade 3 years ago, ChatGPT hadn't even been announced. So it wasn't like we started KYG Trade around AI. But the AI did help us excel our timeline and come up with some true magic in terms of how it will make all of us work more efficiently and faster. I am here to say, as a compliance person who got paid to consult, none of us are losing our jobs because of AI, just as we didn't lose our job when the bots came out. Remember the bots? The bots are coming. We're all going to lose our jobs. Didn't happen, and it's not going to happen today with AI. I mean, it could become a self-fulfilling prophecy if you don't embrace AI, because AI will make you work faster, smarter, more efficiently. And so if you really don't embrace it, then there could be, you know, some career challenges. Let me just put it that way. But we're not losing our jobs. The bots are not taking over. The AI isn't taking over. As the founder CEO of an AI trade compliance company, I'm not going to sit here on the podium and tell you that what our AI tells you, you can run with. We're not there yet. In some cases we are, but in a lot of cases we're not. But I'm just going to ask you, how much time do I have? 2 minutes?
Yes.
3 minutes? I'm just going to ask you to maybe close your eyes and imagine remember the blob of the emails and the PDFs and the Excel attachments that I just said we spent so much time gathering to get information about a product. So just imagine having all that blob of unstructured data, dropping it into a website, and then having it present to you, and if you can go to the next slide, having it present to you, let's just say you had a detention notice or a CF-28. Customs wanted information on whether or not there was forced labor, in the supply chain. So imagine just taking that blob that I just told you about, dropping it on a page in a website, and having this beautiful 16-page report spit out that explains everything about that SKU, who it was sourced from, who the suppliers are, whether or not the suppliers had risk or not, based on research from services such as Sayari or Kron or Thomson Reuters or OneSource, some of the other companies you've heard about, producing a map and having that with the snap of a finger. So now you can just spend time reviewing and filling in gaps instead of spending all that time gathering that information and doing that research. Imagine that. That is what we're doing today. And this is an example on the screen of the output of just what I just told you. It's truly amazing. I mean, the other examples are free trade agreements. We can take the same type of unstructured data. If you're exporting to foreign countries and you want to know if your product qualifies, if it's wholly produced, easy. But if it's complex manufactured goods, having the ability to just ingest a blob of data from multiple sources and have the AI tell you what's missing, what's needed, whether or not it qualifies or not with the snap of a finger, that's where we are today. All right? So there's some really cool things. And then if you go back to the other slide, if any of you are into research and compliance and are going into cross, maybe to look at rulings to figure out what the HS code is for my product, we're able to now have a natural language chat with those rulings. So instead of just entering a search term and hoping to find a ruling, you can literally have a chat with the rulings. And what's so amazing about this is that it'll instruct you, it'll ask you questions to think about based on what the writers of the rulings for products that were similar to yours, were analyzing in those rulings. And just a quick example, and I'll stop. If you understand the nuance of classifying products, here's a good nuance. Is it a pullover or is it a sweater? I see some people smiling, all right? Stitch count, 2 centimeters, horizontal, yes or no? All right? AI can come and ask you that information based on what it's finding in the rulings. So again, this is a great educational opportunity for people to learn as they're doing their job. That is what we're doing now with AI. It's a great, exciting time if you're in compliance.
Thank you, and that's very important because a lot of time is being spent today on figuring out the HS code, the regulation. There are hundreds of emails, as you said, between freight forwarder, EDC, SBDC advisor, and the client to realize what the import duties would be, what kind of documentation is required to clear customs in a country of entry. And I love to imagine the world where with 2 minutes, 3 minutes with an AI solution, we can get the HS code, we can understand the regulation, and this is important why to finalize the purchase order, to go into the logistic parts, which we are going to go next to you, Vince, into the logistic parts. So to get to the logistics, we need to know the HS code, we need to know the regulation. I would like to hear how does Alba Wheels app, in partnership with Mesur, uses AI to detect forced labor risk and to support AI in logistics, basically.
Oh, thank you. How much do I have?
4 minutes.
Okay, because you guys know, you guys who know me know I'm going to have to edit very heavily. So what do I want you to take away? I'll tell a story about this. So Alba Wheels Up, we are a middle market customs broker, freight forwarder with vertical industries that are very trade sensitive. And what does that mean? Those are things that the government really cares about. We have a lot of, I did 25 years at Janelle Group prior to Alba. I cut my teeth in the late 80s in LA on wearing apparel from China, right? Quota, right to make entry. So we have wearing apparel, microchips, frozen protein, FDA regulated medical devices, agricultural chemicals by EPA. So we had our business reviews in the first quarter, and we went into our largest customers. We said, hey, what keeps you up at night? It wasn't Suez. It wasn't Ukraine. It was de-risking, fancy word for getting rid of risk, for the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, right? The number one problem, Todd knows that it started with cotton, and then we went to microchips and solar. So we had two of our biggest verticals. 15 of our top 30 customers had this issue. So through past work that we did with Customs and Border Protection, we knew Measure IO. They were not in the top 2. They were a distant top 3, which made them attractive to us and us attractive to them. And I really want to, if you leave today with nothing else but this, we succeeded with them because we were not tech people. I see a lot of solutions out there where people are buying they're building the solution, but they don't know what the problem is, right? So we had the problem. We could identify the problem. It was in a lot of detail. And we went back to Measure, who will admit that they had trouble getting to market. And we said, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you make it do this? Can you de-risk for that? The second thing, and we were successful with that. The second thing we did was we listened to the customer. They're like, I'm getting bombarded with all these AI solutions. I don't know how to use them. I don't know what to do in my company. I don't know how to have a discussion with my boss or my risk manager or customs. So being brokers, dealing with held cargo for 30 years, we helped design a solution that would release cargo that would preemptively give an importer a risk assessment on the cargo. It's a journey. Todd knows it's a journey. It's a learning process. Where we started with preemptive using AI and open source, and not just AI. We're using proprietary data from the customer, and we're getting a really surprisingly good results at finding where the risk is in the chain. I'm going to stay out of trouble. I won't mention the government. The government's a little slow in recognizing allowing us to use all those results, but there's progress happening there. And so we started preemptively with a risk assessment, and then now we have real life situations where goods are held. So let me just finish with this. This is, the Uyghur problem in China is terrible problem. It's not just Uyghur anymore. It's coffee from Colombia. It's T-shirts from Honduras now. I think it's going to be everything from everywhere. But we looked at it like it's an ESG issue, but really for our customers, outside of the brand risk, it's a supply chain disruption issue. Right? It's demurrage, storage, canceled purchase orders. It's going to the biggest retailer in the country and saying, I can't deliver these goods. They have to go back. And now we're seeing those real costs. So I think it's doing good. It's actually fighting a really big problem, but also trying to be preemptive and proactive about these challenges. My last statement will be this. The platform that was built by Measure before we came along, that was doing all sorts of other things with the government, we pointed it to UFLPA. It could easily be pointed in the future to de-risking for Russia-Ukraine, or de-risking for Russian aluminum, or de-risking for, or counting carbon emissions, right, on the chain. So, I'll leave you with this. I think we're proud that we're not tech people. We're proud that what we bring to the argument is the commercial use and the impact on the customer. And thanks for letting us share our experience with it. And so I'll end there.
Thank you, Vince. So it's not about the technology, it's about the people driving, the right people driving the technology, and really the journey of the business owner using the technology. Next, I'll go to you, Dr. Ray. Dr. Bowman, talking about adapting AI in international trade sector and the main hurdles businesses face in this transition, how it may impact job roles as well, and how do we prepare the next generation of global leaders to be ready for the challenges and the changes ahead?
Well, I think one of the important things, and Vince had mentioned this, and you know, the one thing that all of us have in common is we're subject matter experts in trade, right? Who got into AI. And the reason I point that out is the future of AI being effective in the international trade space depends on, you know, how usable is it, right? Because, you know, your line employees have to have a solution that works easily for them, right? It's got to feel natural to them. And that expertise has to be driven by subject matter experts, right? So AI is only as smart as the expert that teaches it what to do. So that's a real important part of it. The other thing, though, that I find is a challenge, because I have an entire team of 18 that's using different AI tools, and you have sort of these technology adoption challenges. You know, a lot of people think AI is cool and they might play with ChatGPT, but adopting it in the workplace is a different thing, right? So I had to spend a lot of time reorientating our workforce into how to use it. And one of the things that AI does is it really challenges your problem solving, right? In other words, you're not going to spend all those hours researching, but you're going to spend a lot more hours problem solving, right? So it's really going to change your workforce in terms of their mindset, right? The job isn't rote anymore. Now there's a lot of decision making. So my team, now that, you know, I organize over 2,500 clients a year, and, you know, we have information that tells us how each of our consultants do. In fact, I manage data for our state SBDC system, which is over 1,000 consultants. I can tell you almost anything about them. I have data on the millions of sessions that we do. But now what, right? You have to have a workforce that now is familiar with analyzing data. So I think there's a big mindset change there. The other thing that's going to be a big change in the AI workforce is you're going to have these solutions that have to be built into the systems that you use, but you're also going to have AI systems that you're going to make on the fly. So, for example, one of the people on my staff said, hey, I need something that does landed price. Can you do that? And we said, okay, well, let's build it. You know, I need something that'll analyze a client data this way. So I think you're going to have this emergence of, I won't call them innovators, but creators within your own workforce, right? Because we need the expertise of the people who are doing the job to create the solutions. And again, it's not going to replace anyone, but these tools will greatly enhance, you know, the workforce's ability. But it's going to take a really big mindset change, and it's going to take, you know, you taking those solutions and really making sure that whoever builds those solutions are the subject matter expert. And that's why I found to be very important.
Thank you. And to close the panel, I would really want to hear from all of you what is next in AI in your business. And Todd, if you could tell us a little bit of how KYG Trade supports small businesses. I remember you mentioning that if you have a certain number of SKUs, you have access to use your system. Could you give us a little more information about that?
Yeah, so without divulging too much in terms of what we're planning in the future, just a little bit, right? But just to follow on what you just heard, imagine an app store where you're looking for an app to have on your device that does a certain thing, okay? So what we're planning is not an app store, but a trade prompt store. So to your point, if somebody has expertise in whether or not royalties are dutiable or not, okay, they could create an app or a prompt, and the next person who needs to answer that question could access, that one prompt for their particular solution. And if Vincent is the one who created that prompt. He could choose to offer it for free, or he could say, hey, if you're going to use this, I'm going to want some money, just like on an app store. So the idea is, and this is going to happen, so you're going to see and have a place to go to find prompts that will help you in your particular situation. That's what I see coming because we're doing it.
That is incredible. And do tell us about accessing your system with a certain number of SKUs.
In terms of just, our platform is built for the enterprise, so we have big enterprise customers that have millions of products on the platform, or, we have individuals that have one product on the platform. So the same individual that has one product on the platform has access to all of the tools and technology that the big enterprise has. You can have up to 5 products on our platform for no cost.
That's great news for EDC as BDC. Imagine just copying the product description, drop it into KYG Trade website and finding out what your HS code is and what are some of the regulations to keep in mind. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Vince, next, tell us what's next in logistics and AI for Alba Whales.
Yeah, so what's next for us, I think, is what's next for everyone. I have to say I'm very familiar with Todd's product and platform, and it does exactly what he says it does, and it's exciting to see it progress. What's next is we have this really powerful engine with Measure.io that they built for the government that we have now for for the forced labor issue, and we're excited to point it towards counting carbon emissions. We're excited to point it toward maybe geopolitical risk assessment for things like Russia, Ukraine, or other issues. And I'll leave you with this, not just for Alba, the whole industry. Coming out of TPM, I see a lot of folks here that were at TPM this year. I don't know how you get out of it. I don't know how a medium-sized importer or exporter or a large one gets out of mapping past the first tier. Everybody's mapping. To Todd's point, I think you see a lot of companies popping up that are saying, hey, you really need to have a map to use this AI and make predictions about risk and avoid it, especially if your competitors are. So I think that with all these challenges, there are great opportunities tied to it. Thanks.
Thank you, Vince. And Dr. Bowman, I have a specific question for you. Oh. I know you're ready for an answer, but yesterday at the kickoff breakfast event in Long Beach, they mentioned the importance of specific skills. They mentioned IQ, EQ, and AQ, and they said that adaptability is very important, and it's crucial for leaders to adapt and thrive in challenging environments. Since you're educating the business advisor, the SME owners, the next global leaders of our region, could you tell us a little bit more about the importance of having these skills and cultivating them?
Well, and I think when Todd was talking about we were talking about sort of the future of here's a person that knows compliance and they know trade regulations and all this. Well, what that really speaks to is the adaptability. I think we can all agree that the future of our workforce is really dependent on these problem-solving skills. Not how necessarily smart you are, but how adaptable you are. How can you problem solve? Do you have sort of this problem-solving orientation? And I know as an educator, I spend a lot of time with this, right? And in workforce, or when we're training our own workforces, it's hands-on, It's a shared learning experience, and we really need to lean in our workforce training, teaching these problem-solving skills, tactical skills, process improvement, all of these different skill sets that are important that make our workforce flexible, because technology is going so fast. I mean, give you an example. I use this platform that a colleague of mine launched called Protobots. The biggest document we could look at, I think, was 10 pages a month and a half ago. Now I can put 7,000 pages in there and ask it to calculate on a question that's on one page of that 7,000. Yeah, and that was a difference in 2 months, right? So technology changes so much, we really need to train our workforce on those reasoning skills, those tactical skills, because we're going to spend a lot less time looking up stuff and referencing things and doing paperwork, and that time's going to be filled in by a lot of problem solving, a lot of customer discovery, process improvement. That's where the workforce needs to be.
Thank you. Thank you. So the bottom line is that digitalizing global trade makes things faster, cheaper, and easier for small businesses. And as an export advisor, my role is to really get the SMEs to finalizing that transaction, to finalizing the contract, the purchase order. And sometimes it takes 6 months, sometimes it can take up to 1 and 2 years to finalize a big trade transaction. So having the tools available, learning about these tools will really help us to focus more on the production, on the product, and on learning the Incoterms and the regulation. Not that we don't need to know them, but now it's easier to access them. So we really rely on you, trade professionals, to understand, to embrace, to leverage AI, to use them to grow and scale your businesses. And remember, we are here as your resource. Use us to adopt AI in your business. And want to thank very much to our yes, Dr. Bowman has another comment before we close.
Just one thing before I forget. I do have a sort of a giveaway. So on the Protobots, my colleague, he set it up to where you can have 4 weeks of access free. So if you go on to protobots.ai, but when you go onto there, you're going to see a bunch of bots, right? They're going to be little tiles, different bots. I made a bunch of international trade bots and named them. I just put my name on it. So just reference my name, Ray Bowman, and there'll be a series of bots that you can access for landed cost and import-export. I have a supply chain bot. So these are educational, but if you like to play with them, they're all yours for the 4 weeks.
Thank you all for sharing your wisdom with us today, and let's continue the conversation to support the growth of exports in our region.
All right. Incredible, right? To hear all those amazing insights and advancements with AI and technology shared by our subject matter experts on the panel. So I know Dr. Bowman was talking about work bots. I think I could use a couple of those. So I will be connecting with him offline for those. But again, if you have any questions, right, please feel free to reach out and discuss those questions with our subject matter experts, right? That's one of the purposes of having this event, is to network, engage, and try to solve some of those real problems. So if we can, another round of applause for our amazing panel. And then moving us also right along to our next segment on navigating global markets. I would like to, after the photo of the panel here, we're going to call back up Dr. Ray Bowman, who's the director of the Small Business Development Center for the Economic Development Collaborative. As you can tell, he's his own treasure trove of information, so we had to bring him back up. So thank you, Dr. Bowman.
Thanks. So one of the things I wanted to share with you, and this is one of the number one questions I get, gee, are there any resources for importers and exporters, someone doing global trade? Is there any help out here? Yeah, and I always get that question, and the answer is we're very fortunate, especially in Southern California, to have the kinds of resources that we have. So I just wanted to briefly, and I don't have a lot of time, so I'll see if I can get through the list. But I picked sort of my top 20 playlist of resources. And again, it's not, I'll go through them so quickly, you won't be able to memorize all of these resources. But just remember, all of our partners here in this room, there's no one bad phone call. If you call Vince, if you call myself, the commercial service, the Port of Hueneme, one phone call will get you to these resources because they're all familiar to us. So I just wanted to kind of go over the list. The first one is, as mentioned, I'm the director of the Small Business Development Center. We're sponsored by the Small Business Administration, State of California, and the County of Ventura. So I cover Ventura and Santa Barbara County. For international trade, I cover LA. I have over 60 consultants to my disposal. I have 16 trade specialists. Again, I work with over 2,500 companies a year, and we provide free technical one-on-one assistance. So whether it's an import or export issue or foreign direct investment, we can help you with that. I also wanted to mention Moorpark College. So think about this. There's roughly 115 community colleges in the state of California. The state of California supports 1 million directly trade-related jobs, and there's 4 community colleges, including Moorpark, that provide certificates in training in international business. So it's right here in our neighborhood. They have a certificate course. Most of the students are actually connected with companies in the industry. So it's true workforce training. Women's Economic Venture, we work closely with them. We're launching a program with them called Get Your Business Online. It's offered bilingually to help companies navigate e-commerce. California Chamber of Commerce, if you haven't checked out their site, treasure trove of California-centric trade information, policy information. There's SCORE, Senior Corps of Retired Executives. In Ventura County, we actually have one of the largest chapters in the country, and they have trade specialists. They do import-export programs. We actually do that in conjunction with them. They have 86 members that are all professionals in various business backgrounds. The Small Business Administration, so on the list I have Small Business Administration and the SBA loan programs. And the reason I separate them is a lot of us think about SBA for their loan programs. What a lot of us don't realize is they have export working capital programs. And to my opinion, they're very underutilized. So we should really get the word out that if you're an exporter and you need support on your international transactions, they're there to work through your banks to offer those guarantees for working capital so you can do more of your export transactions. The reason I mention SBA twice is SBA also represents the United States in trade negotiations regarding SMEs. So there's a division, the Office of International Trade, that participates in all of our major trade dialogues, as well as has a seat at the table of our trade negotiations to be there to defend the interests of our small businesses. And they have various trade dialogues that happen. So we have a trade dialogue every 6 months with the UK, with our USMCA partners, with Korea. And these trade dialogues are open to SMEs to participate in. And so if you want to help weigh in and shape policy, that's an opportunity for you. The EDC, I work for the Economic Development Collaborative, Ventura County. We have our own loan program. We're one of the few community lenders that also looks at export loans. So we have our own loan committee. We're California CDFI, so we're there to help you. I'm a member of the Southern California District Export Council. Raise your hand if you're a member. We're appointed by the U.S. Secretary of Commerce. We're volunteers to help promote international trade and weigh in on policy and work very closely with the U.S. Department of Commerce. There's 33 members, and we're all trade experts here to help you. So we're here, we volunteer our time to help our trade community. The governor's office, GoBiz. GoBiz has an international trade division. They have a grant called the STEP grant that provides $5,000 to $10,000 to subsidize your export marketing activity. In fact, our SBDC has helped facilitate almost half of the state STEP grants. So again, the state is a great resource. The ports of Hueneme, ports of Long Beach, ports of Los Angeles, and special shout out to the Port of Hueneme because among those three, it's the only one that has its own World Trade Center, right? and hosts our U.S. Department of Commerce Commercial Service Office. So the ports, we often don't look at the ports as, we tend to look at them as just the service provider in the supply chain, but they're also heavily involved in trade advocacy, trade promotion, trade workshops. So it's very important to look at the resources that they offer as well. Foreign Trade Association, again, the Foreign Trade Association is a great resource for training, connection with other international trade partners. The NASBITE International, I belong to NASBITE. It's an international association of small business international trade educators. They have a certification called the CGBP. It's actually, CGBP is a requirement in the national SBDC network, so we have to have so many certified CGBPs. But they actually have a platform that provides free of charge access to over 20 different really detailed training courses. If you pay a fee, you have access to another 60. And again, they're throughout the nation, they're doing training programs. LA Chamber of Commerce, they host the World Trade Week kickoff, but they're also heavily involved in trade. It's really important to look at the chambers of commerce that are involved in trade because a lot of them conduct trade missions. And we tend to share each other's participants. In other words, if we're doing a trade mission here that LA or San Diego isn't, we'll often invite those members to join or vice versa. So those chambers are very important, the ones that are involved in international trade. U.S. Commercial Service, they did a wonderful presentation. But again, if you're a business and you haven't connected with the U.S. Department of Commerce, you really need to. There are amazing services there, and I can't tell you the amounts of companies I've talked to over the years that have relied and opened up international markets because of their resources that are low cost to no cost. Another important organization, World Trade Centers. Again, Port Hueneme hosts their own, but there is a World Trade Center of both Long Beach and LA. Again, they host a lot of networking events that are important to know about. Women in international trade. It's an international group. We have a member from OWIT in Orange County, but there's a Los Angeles Women in International Trade. It's very important for women in trade to not only share their experiences and information, but the Women in World Trade chapters have amazing expertise that you can tap into. The International Trade Center program, it used to be called the CITD. That's a program through the state of California. They provide services that help leverage other assistance programs. So for example, our SBDC will be the recipient of monies from the ITC program that will enable us to have databases like Euromonitor, Compass, and these are databases that help us to provide trade data for our clients. Import-Export Bank of the United States. Again, they have two things. They have both loans as well as export credit insurance. If you're a business and you export and you've never heard of export credit insurance, you need to call us quickly because everyone needs to know about that. Talking about de-risking a transaction, it's essential. And then the LA Customs Brokers and Freight Forwarders Association, there's a National Association of Freight Forwarders, the Los Angeles chapter, which Vince and others belong to. It's a very important group because these are the practitioners that are moving the freight and all the goods that we rely on. And they have excellent types of training, outreaches, and they're a good source for finding and networking with those supply chain service providers. So I wanted to take the time to go through these because I went through 20, but I could spend another 20 minutes going over more. So the bottom line is that the way we grow as entrepreneurs is we network, we socialize our problems. So it's very important for us to know about these resources. And again, there's no wrong phone call. Reaching out to our World Trade Center, U.S. Department of Commerce, ourselves at the SBDC. We want to help you. We want to help promote economic development through global markets. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Bowman, for all that excellent information. Again, feel free to check in with Dr. Bowman for that slide or information for specific resources of interest to you. So we've made it. We are on our last segment of our program, and it's special that we get the opportunity to recognize a few amazing partners that exemplify global trade and are not only economic contributors, but community contributors as well. So for the first two achievement awards, I'd like to call up our harbor commissioners. Our President, Selena Zacharias, will present our first award, and Commissioner Mary Ann Rooney will present our second award. Commissioner Herrera and Ramirez, please feel free to join as well. So President Zacharias, the podium is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, I hope you've taken all in this wealth of information. We have some great experts here with us today. I know it may seem overwhelming, but know that we're here and we're available for any questions you might have. This afternoon, with my fellow commissioners, we'd like to recognize and award this year's Auto Export Achievement Award to our friends from Toyota Motor of North America. Toyota has been a part of the cultural fabric in North America for more than 65 years and is committed to advancing sustainable next-generation mobility. At the Port of Hueneme, Toyota Motor North America realized a total export volume for calendar year 2023 of 3,152 automobiles. It is estimated that approximately 2,500 of that volume was destined for South Korea, which we just recently visited. Toyota uses Wallenius Wilhelmsen as their ocean logistics provider, another partner of the Port of Hueneme. Here to represent Toyota Motor North America, we welcome Adam Radin, Field Logistics Manager for Toyota Motor North America. Thank you, Adam, and thank you, Toyota Motor North America, for your partnership, and we wish you continued success. Please, let's give them one more round of applause.
On behalf of Toyota Logistics Services, I want to thank Port Hueneme for inviting me out here. It's been a great partnership. As everyone is aware, it's not only on the import side, the challenges of exporting and servicing our customers. Every customer presents a unique challenge. So again, between Port Hueneme and WWS, thank you for the continued support.
All righty. On behalf of the entire Board of Harbor Commissioners, I'm honored to announce this year's Container Export Achievement Award, and that award goes to Allied Potato. So Allied Potato is no stranger to the Port of Hueneme. In fact, they won the export award last time we had the World Trade Week event. And Allied Potato was founded in 2007, and they specialize in the export of chipping potatoes. So last night I had to look up what's chipping potatoes. So who knows what chippings, not you guys, who knows what chipping potatoes are? Okay, me neither. So there are a variety of potatoes that are designed specifically for French fries and potato chips, and they take sugar out of them and they make better French fries. So there you go. Lesson learned today. In calendar year 2023, Allied Potato exported approximately 906 containers through the Port of Hueneme. And a fun fact, potatoes were the #1 export commodity by tonnage in calendar year 2023. By tonnage, potatoes represented 35% of the port's exports and were valued at $91.1 million. And that's no small potatoes. Oh. I just couldn't help myself. Okay, sorry. There's no more jokes. Okay. Allied Potato has not only been a top exporter partner of the Port of Hueneme, but is also known to give back to their community. Whether it's through hosting an annual free pumpkin patch event, giving back to local schools by providing extracurricular funding, and also by providing scholarships. And another fun fact, Kristen, they told me that a potato has more potassium than bananas do. Not there's any competition between the two here. So, we learned a couple things about potatoes today you probably didn't know. So we'd like to thank you for your business here at the Port of Hueneme and your community impact. And here to accept the award on behalf of Allied Potato is Thomas Baker, Vice President of California Operations, Lucy Tellez, the International Logistics Manager, and Sergio Duran of the Operations Leadership Team. Please join me in congratulating Allied Potato.
Just want to say thank you on behalf of Allied Potato. We really appreciate the support. Thank you so much.
All right, excellent. Congratulations, Toyota Motor North America and Allied Potato. Next time, we'll wait for the chip samples after the end of the event. For the next award, I'd like to call back up to the stage for a third time, for those keeping track, Dr. Ray Bowman to present the EDC World Trade Advocacy Award.
Thank you, everyone. So there are different ways to promote trade advocacy, but again, when we were talking about AI, a big part of our discussion was the workforce. How you're going to organize the workforce, train the workforce. Well, who is setting that foundation? And I mentioned a little while ago, there's 115 community colleges. I think 4 offer training in international trade, despite the fact we have a 1 million-person workforce that's directly related to trade, right? Part of the difficulty of that is that if you're going to launch a curriculum, particularly one in international trade, one, you have to have a desire to want to do that, right? So there has to be desire from, the college, from the top down. There has to be teachers with the expertise and interest in doing it. And there has to be all the legwork in putting curriculum together, listening to the community, finding out what kind of training is relevant. Well, this is something that Moore Park College has done, and they're going to be the recipient of our Advocacy Award. So I'd like the representatives from Moore Park College to come up. And again, it's so important for us to recognize those institutions that are helping train our future supply chain logistics and trade professionals. So here you are.
Thank you very much for the award. About 4 years ago, we created a global business program. We have a certificate and a degree in it. And just this year, we started seeing the very first graduates come out with an AS degree in global business. So thank you very much. We're very proud of it. We hope it creates workers that will help benefit you guys.
All right, congratulations, Moore Park College. Thank you for your advocacy efforts and contributions to developing our global trade leaders of tomorrow. So for our final certificate of appreciation, I would like to call up Marianne Burke and Richard Swanson to present their U.S. Commercial Service Certificate of Appreciation.
Okay. Thank you so much. We just want to it's been a pleasure for me working here at the port for the last 2 years. And I just really, with all of every time I hear a presentation by Kristen, it's kind of a new expanded relationship she's made, whether it's Lithuania or Japan. So it's really, yeah, quite exciting to be here and at the forefront of everything happening here in the region. So I just want to say thank you, and on behalf of the organization, the agency, and Richard, you know, again, Richard being such a champion of the region, do you want to say a few words as well?
This is an award. It's a certificate of appreciation from the U.S. Department of Commerce, International Trade Administration, our agency, the U.S. Commercial Service, because we appreciate you, the Port of Hueneme, the Harbor District, the Oxnard Harbor District. For so long, you've housed Jerry Vaughn, our former director. You've allowed us, myself, to come up here, have great space. We've been able to manage the whole central coastal area all the way up to San Luis Obispo because of this location. We've had, and like Ray said, great partnerships with everybody. All the trade organizations here are part of a great team. It's one of the closest knit teams I've ever seen here in California, and it all starts right here at the port. And your utilization, and this is our trade award and our trade appreciation award, but your utilization of resources, particularly Economic Development Administration, which is our grant body in the U.S. Department of Commerce, and helping to deepen the water and helping to bring in trade, and from an infrastructural point of view, we're set for the next 10, 20 years to promote trade and commerce here very well. And you're one of the best ports here in California. So it's a team effort though, Kristen, right? And like I said, if we could ask President Selena Zacharias to come back up on stage, if that would be okay. Commissioner Marianne Rooney, there you go, Marianne. Kristen Dekas, of course, come on. Elizabeth Arias, Hannah Deilich. Drew, would you come back on stage too? We got to get you up here too. And then, of course, the godfather of trade, Jess Herrera. Come on, Jess. Come on. If Jess Ramirez, is Jess Ramirez? Did he go? Okay. Jess Ramirez, can you join us, please? Please, just this one time. We love you.
He's back there. He's coming. Come on, Jeff.
Let's Marianne, let's officially present this when Jess comes up here. And let me help him up.
Come on in here next to Selena.
So, on behalf of the U.S. Department of Commerce, the International Trade Administration, we would formally like to present this certificate of appreciation as commissioned by our Department of Commerce Secretary, Gina Raimondo, to the Oxnard Harbor District, the Port of Hueneme, and to your entire team right here, right now. Thank you, Kristen, and everyone, Jess, all of you guys, Marianne. It's been a great road to now, and I know we're set for the future, all of us. So thank you very much. And should we get a money shot here? Okay, anybody got a camera? Oh, there we go. Okay. Little Steely Dan. All right, yeah. For the OGs out here, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Don't run away yet. Oh. Please don't run away yet. First of all, I want to thank the Youth Chamber for coming from Washington, all the great insights you shared today. They have been tremendous partners, not only helping us. We had a wonderful reception in Japan, thanks to the Department of Commerce, inviting dignitaries from the ministries, from the Navy, from customer partnerships in Korea. In Seoul, we had a wonderful reception, thanks to Commerce. But it's been bigger and grander than that. We've received $8 million in grants through the EDA partnership that they were talking about to put our port to work, deepen our harbor, get sand to our local beaches. So all around, it's just been a wonderful partnership, and we're very grateful for the award. But as you said, it takes a team. And first of all, let's give Drew a big round of applause. Get up here and take a bow. He was halfway around the world and pulled this off in a couple of days. The planning committee, please step up. Everyone that was involved in that, we thank you for your assistance today to make this a wonderful and insightful event. And the port can't get awards like this if we don't have customers. So I'd like to invite all of our customers to come up here and join us on the stage and help us accept this award. Please, Len, don't hide out there, SSA, come on, Claudio, Anyone that does business with the port, please come up here and join us in accepting this. They're the economic engines. They're the ones that grab the business. They're the ones that create all the jobs. They're the reason we're Port of Hueneme. So please come up and join us. Yes, the rest of Commerce, please. Carolyn, come up and join the photograph. Okay, thank you. Austin, get up here. Staff. Come on, CFO, all port team, join us. You're all part of this team. This is our CFO. Who else is in the house? Miguel, Anthony, Maripaz, all port staff, come up and join us. You're all part of our family, and you all earn this. Customers and team. John Wood, he set up this whole room. Am I missing anyone? Come on up.
I spent a lot of money and I spent a lot of time. The trip we made to Hollywood is extra fun, but
Everyone in this room's a VIP. Thank you for your support and partnership.
All right, wow. What an amazing day, right? Full of incredible updates from our global partners, an amazing keynote address, industry and trade insights, a roundtable discussion on AI, and ending it with a celebration of World Trade achievers and advocates. Before we end our day, one housekeeping item. For those who RSVP'd for our Harbor and FathomWorks tour, we will be having folks line up single file near the south side building doors. My colleague Maripaz, so let me see, raise your hand. If you guys are here for the Harbor tour, please, we'll be lining up right over here. We got the bus ready to do that, but before we officially end the event, we thought we would leave you all with a special video that we hope puts a smile on your face. Thank you and have a beautiful day.
Es el puerto más bello de la nación. Este corrido le canto con el alma al puerto de Hueneme de puro corazón. Empezó moviendo todo el cargo, empleando a miles para lograr una visión, a proteger a la gente trabajadora y traernos todos juntos en esta gran nación. Arriba el puerto, arriba Hueneme, un puerto muy fuerte con aire limpio pa' buena salud. Arriba el puerto, arriba Hueneme, un puerto verde luchando por nuestra nación. Gran orgullo si tú eres de Hueneme, gran orgullo si tú eres de Ventura, de Oxnard o de Moore Park, Camarillo y Simi Valley. Importante es apoyar a nuestro puerto, porque su lucha también es nuestra lucha. Y ahora que vamos mirando para el futuro, vamos todos unidos como grandes amigos. Arriba el puerto, arriba Hueneme, un puerto muy fuerte con aire limpio pa' buena salud. Arriba el puerto, arriba Hueneme, un puerto verde luchando